Yo, what's going on, YouTube? What's going on? What's going on? We live. Man, we're going live. Come on, man. Yo, what's good? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Share out the stream. Share out the stream. Let me share this. Let's get out on Facebook. Get on Facebook like that. Let's put it out real quick on Instagram, on the gram, on the IG. It sucks that it does not let me share to my stories anymore. It's kind of weird. Anyways, we're just gonna go live. What's going on, everybody? Yo, what's up, Chris? Argentina in the building. Lorena, what's going on? That's a long way. I'm gonna be talking about this community, this biker community, man. It's been pretty toxic lately. Well, it's always toxic, but it's getting bad. And I think what's about to happen is we're gonna have a shift in the paradigm again. It's gonna change up again. Oh, appreciate it, Weston. Appreciate it, man. We do daily uploads here, daily uploads on Instagram as well. So we're just trying to build up the community here on the channel. I think Instagram, we probably got like close to 900 people, 900 supporters. And then on here, we're steadily going up. It's going up. It's slow and steady though. I think we are at 331. Pretty good. Like I said, it's all organic, man. So, but yeah, we're gonna get into it. I wasn't gonna make a video about it, but then I was just like, you know what? Let's just go live and talk live about it. So a lot of you who follow the biker community, you probably like seeing a lot of stuff from like, I think most recently it was probably like S1K Rocket. I put out a video talking about his frustrations with how he sees the biker community going, and yeah, I thought it was a pretty good video. I thought he said some pretty he made some really valid points. But as I was starting to think about it, it seems like it's just like music. Like the community like kind of fluctuate. It goes into different trends. Like, and right now, I think the trend of the biker community, like on social media, is all about the speed boys. it's all about being reckless and speed. That's all it is right now. And so I think when you start seeing people like the S1K Rockets, some of the other people that are kind of more famous in the community, when you start seeing them complain about other types of content being made around motorcycles, you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention. All right, man, get to bed. Yo! All right, so get to bed. I don't want to come on the stream. You're not there. You don't need to be on the stream. All right, good night. I'll see you in the morning. Tell them to come with you. Yo! Yeah, so so let's talk about it, man. I was to say the motorcycle genre, man, it comes and flows, man, and it changes a lot. Like, a lot of people don't realize, like, before this whole speed boy reckless thing kind of took over, the big thing in the biker community was like emo bikers, emo talk. It was like all emo bikers. And if you don't know what that means, it's like, I call it the Suicide Squad or the Suicide Boys, where people kind of glorify the inner thoughts, the I don't know, like the feel sorry for me, cry for me kind of thing. And it was a huge problem. It was a huge problem because most of the community started to view it as it was leading or introducing or giving people an avenue to like kill themselves, basically. And that was the big thing that why people wanted it out of the community and wanted it to change. And because people were literally glorifying depression and, you know, like basically suicidal tendencies for motorcycles. And so it's like, don't go out and get a motorcycle to kill yourself or to make content surrounded around trying to harm yourself. And it was a big problem. It was a really big problem, and it lasted for quite a while. A lot of people don't remember that, right? And I think that's where the whole speed thing came in, because people were literally being reckless with their speed in an attempt to like garner sympathy from the community. Like, I'm trying to hurt myself, so I'm just being insane with my bike. And I think it kind of transitioned into what we kind of see now, where it was no more emo. It just turned into fast boy, hoonigan, you know, reckless lifestyle. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it is interesting to watch. It's entertaining for sure. There's nothing more entertaining than seeing somebody else doing something with their motorcycle that you would probably never dream of doing, because you don't want to die. But there are people out there that do it, you know. So now when I'm seeing videos like, seeing influencers like S1K Rocket making, voicing his frustrations, like what's going on, with the community? Like, why is everybody switching from the norm, and now you have like people who don't even have motorcycles yet, but they have motorcycle gear and they're making videos about motorcycles as if they ride and they don't. That is kind of weird. That's very weird. And then you have people that actually literally own motorcycles, but their content isn't centered around like actual motovlogging. You know what I mean? So one guy that I know for sure, he does both, but mainly a lot of his videos, you can catch him on Instagram for real too. He's on here on YouTube as well. His name is POV Revs. Real good dude. Good content. But he makes a lot of talking head videos, informational videos, and it's amazing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So when I start seeing people that are complaining about that type of content taking over, you got to listen to it. And because to me, all I hear when I hear that kind of stuff, all I'm really hearing is, hey, I don't understand why you guys are interested in people that aren't riding their motorcycles at 130 plus miles an hour every video. And I like S1K Rocket's videos too, by the way, but I think he does a lot of speeding videos, and I can prove it. I can prove why I feel that way, but and there's nothing wrong with that kind of content either, but there are other influencers that are coming out or that have already come out and have tried to change their content a little bit. I'll probably say like one of the most successful so far is Fastlane D. He's definitely kind of turned his content around a little bit to where he's not focusing on so much like blowing out his speedometer on every video. And he got smarter about it. He starts to blur out his speedometer. Some people started to do that, and then other people just said, forget it. I don't really know if YouTube is, I think they were probably trying to crack down on the blurring the speedo by kind of like making it seem like, hey, if you're blurring the speedo, that means you're breaking the law, kind of thing. And so I think they're probably trying to flag for that. And there's easy fixes around that. You can use a polarizer. If you use a polarizer on your, that's the polarizer. If you use a polarizer on your action camera and you adjust it, you can literally block out your speedo naturally. It'll just be black. The whole speedo will be black. That's one way. The other way is to, probably the safest way is probably to use like a sticker or some type of little sticker or something to like kind of place over your speeder, so they can't so they can't flag you for it. For me, in most of my videos, you can see that I have a monitor. I have an external monitor for my rear view camera that literally sits in front of my speedo. So you'll never see how fast I'm going, what gear I'm in, unless I lean over with the camera a certain way and you see it. But some of the creators have just have taken steps to secure their channel and keep their monetization, because monetization is a big thing for a lot of these guys, and for a lot of people that are kind of hoping to get monetized and have sponsors and whatnot. Sponsors don't want to sponsor reckless content. It's just bad for them, right? So because they look like they're enabling it. So S1K Rocket had some very, very valid points. Like I said, I made a video back in there. You can go check it out. I was talking about Though Taken. I think his name is Thought Taken or Though Taken or something. Really good creator, different. He's very different than other people. And people just don't like him for whatever reason sometimes, I don't get it. I just think right now that a lot of the speed boys are trying very, very hard to secure their spot at the top, because right now and for the longest, like 3, 4, 5 years plus, they've been building up their channels on speed, and some of them recklessness, and they've kind of gotten to that pinnacle of recognition from the community that a lot of them, when they try to change their content at that point, people aren't interested and they just move on to the next. And so I think what you're seeing is that, like I said, some of these guys are really trying to defend their spot by kind of dismissing other types of content that is beginning to climb. You know, it's becoming to be more interesting. People are becoming more interested than just seeing somebody go 180 miles an hour every video. And personally, who started doing that more? I think Fast Flow KC started doing that a little more. He started doing that a little more. He's starting to go fast a lot. And part of it's because he got a new bike, but even before he got the new bike, he was starting to just do a lot of speed videos. And I think there's something going on with Dallas, Texas, man. I think everybody that's going to Dallas, moving to Dallas, is just, it's all speed content. And I don't know, man, it's just not worth it. Who else did I just see? What confirms my thoughts is Will Kid Hill. Will Kid Hill just put out a video as well, talking about the Osmo Action 5, but in that video he was also talking about how he's going to change his content going forward. And that was just like a little soft warning to his subscribers, that he was going to change his content going forward, and that he's getting a little older, and especially after his last wreck, you know, doing hoonigan shit on the highway, you know, he almost killed himself. I don't blame him at all, you know what I mean? But you can definitely tell that he's a little worried that his fan base might not react very well to that. But he's already said it, like, he's done with just the go fast videos, the reckless videos. It's fun to make, it's fun to watch, but it's just not worth it in the end. And I think I commented on that video, and I told him, I said, hey, you know, this is kind of what happens when you build your following, you build your whole channel on speed, reckless, right? If you try to change it, some people may not accept that and they'll leave. If you think I'm lying, go look at, y'all remember D Gon Ride? That boy set the streets on fire a couple years ago with the Gixxer, man, with the Gixxer 1000. I think he's over in Florida. But he set YouTube and Instagram on fire. That boy went from like no subscribers to like 200,000, like in no time. But if you look at his content was all hoonigan. It was just all reckless. You know what I'm saying? Like fun stuff that we like to see, and that's what people like to see. But as soon as he got in trouble with the law, too much trouble with the law, he had to keep having hiatuses. He couldn't really ride no more. I think they took his license away. He had to switch it up and do something different. And he started doing like luxury car rentals and stuff like that. And nobody had it. Everybody was like, oh, hell no. His Instagram died like almost in a week. It just died. He removed all his content off his Instagram. He removed all his content off of YouTube. If you don't believe me, you can go find him right now. D Gon Ride, he ain't got no videos up. He probably ain't got no videos up anymore of him riding, because almost all his content was reckless. And so what he tried to do was he tried to, you know, rebrand himself, but none of his audience was having it. He killed his channel. Killed his channels. Like, and that's what you gotta be careful of when you're starting out. You gotta just try to figure out, if you're gonna be a hoonigan, you just gotta do it and not care, right? But back to Will Kid Hill. Will Kid Hill said the same thing, man. Like I said, he said he's done with it. He's getting a little older. He ain't doing it no more. and he's tired of putting in all this work for YouTube just to demonetize his videos. He's not getting paid from it. And so, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's spending a lot of time. He's doing it full time, like a lot of these guys are. And if you're not getting paid, if you're not getting monetized for it, it's like you're just doing it for what? You know what I mean? It's like you're putting yourself in danger for what? So he's gonna be switching it up. And this is why I built this channel on just a vibe, man. Like, I cruise a lot. I have a fast bike, but I don't go fast all the time. You just don't need to. It's unnecessary. I think the myth is that, especially if you have a leader bike or 1,000cc plus sport bike, the myth is that you must go fast. That's why people run out and they go get Ducatis. They run out and they go buy the BMWs, and they just go really, really fast. Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, but people like to see that kind of content, man. That we love to see the fast content. When you go look at people like Fastlane D, I'm about to say even years before the emo stuff, I think the big thing was track riding on YouTube. Track riding was like a big thing before the emo bike stuff, and everybody was kind of mimicking or trying to be like a MotoGP racer on the road. And that's kind of always been around. But if you even notice, when these guys like Fastlane D and stuff, when they like release like track videos, the views on their videos are way, way down. Nobody's really watching them. And that's people in their fan base. A lot of the people, they want to see you drive MotoGP style on the street, but when you actually give them a track video of being on a professional track and racing like that, and actually racing, people act like they don't want to see it. And the views reflect that. Their own fan base don't really want to see those type of videos. They want to see them do that on the street. And that's kind of sad, because when you have influencers that are spending the money, it's not cheap to go to the track. It's not cheap to get your bike ready for the track. It's just not. It's actually cheaper to buy a dedicated track bike and to keep it a dedicated track bike versus taking your street bike and trying to convert it all the time. It's a pain in the ass. It takes a lot of money. These track days ain't cheap, right? And so when these guys go out there and they are on the track, and you guys aren't supporting them by watching the videos, it's like they're trying their best to show you a better example of, hey, this is where you cut up and do all the crazy stuff, and then you get the chill videos and stuff like that on the street. And a lot of people don't respect that. A lot of people don't respect that. So, and this is how you know it's true. I think was it Saiyan 420 or Mad Max? It was somebody. It was one of them. They released a track video, an influencer track video, not too long ago, where they got some of the the influencers of the biker community, the bigger names, to do a track day. And again, the only reason why people were watching it is because there was a huge crash in that video. And that's the only reason why a ton of people watched it. But nobody really would have watched it if something bad didn't happen. So, again, people like reckless danger. It just is what it is. Oh, what's up, Manny? All right, see you later. How do y'all feel? Y'all feel the bike community is toxic? to Toxic. Let's start that poll. Make sure y'all get that poll. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. I want to see those thoughts. It shouldn't really matter what kind of content you make, whatever community that you're in. Just make the kind of content that you want to make. To me, that's the only important thing, really. Make the content that you want to make, the type of content you want to make. IG. How my IG got closed. What type of content do you guys like to watch? What type of content do you guys enjoy watching the most? My guess is Speed Reckless. Yo, the chat is lit. Chat is lit. Chat is lit. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all share out the stream. Oh, yeah, thanks for everybody who joined the giveaway, man. The giveaway was a success. We did pick a winner. And shout out to Carlos Navarre, who won the giveaway. I got your hoodie coming. So big shout out to Carlos on winning that giveaway. It was for a free hoodie of your choice from the store. And we ran it for a whole week. So I really appreciate everybody who did participate. We're gonna start doing more of them in the future too. And if you want a chance to get some good gear, you gotta follow me on Whatnot. Gotta follow me on Whatnot. You can tell I'm tired as hell. I still got a couple of videos to edit as well. I need to do them tonight. I put it off. I was gonna do it last night, but I was trying to work on some stuff from the store and I didn't get to it. But make sure y'all answer that question, that poll. I want to know what kind of content, or not what kind of content. I want to know if y'all think that the biker community has become toxic. What we could possibly do to change that going forward. Because like I said, I think right now we just have people that are trying to hold on to the king of the hill as long as they can before a new vibe, a new wave of content creation or creativity comes about. And honestly, I think that it's kind of transitioning into the moto talk, or the bobblehead, or the whatever you want to call it, moto head talk, or whatever you want to call it. I think that it is kind of transitioning more into that because people are looking for ways to actually bring some value to the community. Which is why you see more informational videos being put out by new content creators versus jumping on Instagram and making wheelie videos and making speed run videos and stuff like that. It's just changing, man. The whole vibe is changing. You know, it's just changing, period. I think you're starting to see a lot of the bigger guys, they're starting to panic a little bit, which is why you see a lot of people, a lot of these guys, they're pushing merch. They're pushing merch so heavy, and they're all doing it at once because they're all realizing that all of their videos are getting demonetized. So everybody's putting out merch. You know what I mean? The types of videos that you're seeing on the tube and on YouTube especially is you're seeing people do pre-meet rides to the meet, and they film at the meet. They film what's going on, all that good stuff, and then obviously you film yourself going home or going to like some type of after party, and then what? Like that's the content every day, all week. They just go to meets. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to do. But I think people are just getting a little tired of the same thing. Rolling to meets, having a camera car, everybody's doing roller shots, everybody's doing wheelies. And that's what the state of the height or the pinnacle of motovlogging is right now in the community. That's what it is. So you'll either like it or you'll hate it, but I just think people are getting bored with it. And so they're trying to do different things. They're trying to bring different, like I said, they're trying to bring value, more value to the community. Because right now, that's what everybody thinks they should be able to do. Go out and get a bike that you that you can't even ride yet, right? And then go to a meet, do some wheelies, and I don't know, get noticed, I guess. I have no idea. But we're seeing a shift. We're seeing a shift. And what you're gonna notice very quickly is that some of these guys, they don't have a personality outside of going 180 miles an hour. They have no personality. And that's why they're kind of upset. They're upset because their videos are getting demonetized. They have no personality to make other types of videos because they think it's stupid. And you're gonna see those guys go away. You're gonna see them go away. Once they stop getting paid, they're gonna go away. Like I said, you can only push merch to your channel so much. Being in like a position like some of these guys are, with like 100,000+ subscribers. Once your fan base or your subscriber base starts to feel like all you're doing is selling them merch because you're not getting paid on monetization, and like they're gonna eventually get tired of it. You know, they're gonna get tired of it. So a lot of these guys, I don't think it's gonna work out for them. They don't really have necessarily a plan. You know, the plan is you want to get paid for doing what you like to do, obviously, but they're going about it the wrong way. The going about it the right way should be changing your content to make it more suitable, more legal for sponsors to continue to monetize you before you go balls deep and trying to just sell your merch to 100,000+ subscribers every video you put out. I'm telling you, I'm noticing that a lot. Most of these guys' videos, every single video is, and there's nothing wrong with plugging your merch, but every single video is like almost a desperation. Buy the merch, buy the merch. I'm not getting paid, buy the merch, buy the merch. YouTube's not monetizing me, buy the merch. So it's a trend that is becoming very, very toxic in itself, and it's gonna get bigger until people are tired of those influencers. They're gonna be like, not buying your merch anymore, man. So, how y'all feel about that? Probably gonna be live for maybe like another 10 minutes or so. I'm trying to get some people up in here. Let's get some people up in here. Make sure y'all subscribe too, man. Make sure you go over to IG and subscribe as well. Subscribe here, subscribe to IG. Keep up on both channels. What's good? trying to order some inventory for the store. Working on my inventory. Yo, what's going on, Neutral? He said, hey man, are you a rider saying this and referring to a community you're part of? Yes, 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 yes. Now, the discussion is that I guess probably more recently, I would say probably like within maybe like the last 6 months, 5 or 6 months, the consensus is that they have been finding people in the biker community who are pretending to be riders. They go out and they buy the gear, like the helmet, they go out and buy the gloves, and they make biker talk videos, whether they're in their house, wherever they are, you know what I mean? But you'll see them with the gear on, but you never see them riding. And I think people started calling those people out, like saying, you don't ever ride a bike, but you have gear. Like, where's your bike? Why don't you ever post riding videos? And I think it's becoming more of a trend of people that don't ride or don't have a license to ride, or they just haven't made it there yet. They haven't gotten their chance to get a bike yet, but they feel compelled to make bike videos, whether they're reacting to other people's videos or whatever it is. That's been a big trend as well too. People reacting to other biker people videos. Nothing wrong with that, but I think because it's starting to trend that people who actually ride, like the S1K Rockets who are big in the community, I think they're seeing it and they're starting to get frustrated. Like, how are these guys coming up in the trend when they don't even ride motorcycles? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think people are getting frustrated by that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you said like, basically a poser, yes. Like a rocker who dresses like a rocker, talks like a rocker, but doesn't play a damn instrument. Exactly. That's what's going on. I personally think it's funny. I think it's a little interesting. But people do it all the time though. People do it all the time. They do it with everything, right? They do it with everything. If you go over to the gaming community, you're gonna see some of the well-known channels are people who just talk about the politics of the gaming industry. They don't even post anything about them playing games, but they have an opinion on everything. But some of these people don't even play games. They just talk about it. And so I think people just need to understand that every genre, every niche, every community is going to have those type of people where they're interested in that community, but they're not actually a part of that community. So either because they don't want to, they think it's too dangerous, or whatever it is, whatever the reason is, but that's how they stand. They're in the community, but they are not active in the community. And there's a ton of posers on Instagram. Oh my God, Instagram is flooded with posers. When you watch some of these guys' videos, especially Fastlane D's videos, he meets a lot of people and he always throws up their socials, which I think is pretty cool because he doesn't have to do that. But to me, it exposes even more the biker community and how much people want to be like super viral. Like, you'll have people that literally pop up on his video. He's like, hey man, shout yourself out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he throws up their social. And these fools, nobody even knows who they are at the meet, but they'll have like 30 posts and they'll have like 100,000 followers. Nobody at that meet even knows who you are. How do you have 100,000? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are always trying to fake it to make it. And that's crazy. I think it's crazy. I think it's silly. I don't understand what you really get out of it for buying a bunch of Instagram fake followers and likes and, bot comments and stuff like that. Like, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you know that you're the one paying for it, like, what gratification are you getting out of it? I would rather have organic traffic, organic people either liking or not liking your content and letting you know and engaging with you versus buying it and then you're trying to fake it until you make it. And a lot of them, you'll see, they have new accounts all the time because Instagram shuts their accounts down because they realize they're just buying bots. Instagram will shut it down. It happens all the time. You'll see people like, oh, I took a hiatus, but I'm back. New, you know what I mean? Like new account. It's like, yeah, because your account got shut down because you're buying subs. That's why. You hate when people are authentic. Yo, what's going on, Carlos? Yeah, I was just talking about you, man. I said that you won the giveaway. I got you. He says, does changing gear often make the gearbox weak? I would say no, but it all depends on your technique. I would say if you don't have a quick shifter and you are, manually changing gears, I would say that your technique is going to be what is going to, that's what's going to kind of like give you the longevity of your transmission or your clutch or your gears, because some people just don't really know how to shift gears and clutch correctly. And you may think that you're doing it right, but if you start noticing that your gears are going out or you're missing a gear or your gear is slipping or something like that, unless you're riding with on a Ducati V4 with a dry clutch, that's a little different because dry clutches go out really, really quickly. So most of the influencers that do have them, they usually record them going out anywhere after 2,000 to 4,000 miles. So that's crazy. And they're paying like $3,500 for a new dry clutch from Ducati. But for the most part, if you got a good bike, like a good Japanese bike, like Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, they're built pretty tough, man. They're kind of bulletproof. It's kind of hard to mess up the gearing unless you just don't know how to shift, period. But shouldn't really have to worry about it. I've never had to worry about replacing any gears on my motorcycles, even on the ones that I started off with when I first started riding. You say you left X due to the manufactured drama. Yeah, there's a lot of drama, man. There is a lot of drama right now. Cleaning the chain. Oh yeah, cleaning the chain as well. You definitely need a clean chain. That's like a big, that's probably one of the number one things that is visible that people ignore is the chain. They just assume the chain's on the bike is good to go. No, you gotta maintain your chain. You gotta lubricate your chain. Make sure, especially depending on your riding style. Depending on your riding style, you definitely before you even get on your bike, if you daily ride, before you even get on your bike, just do a quick walk around. Touch the lug nuts. Check out your tubing, especially going to your brakes. Your master cylinder, make sure that's good. Always make sure your brake fluid is topped off. Every once in a while, check your oil. Make sure your oil cap is, just do a quick little walk around. You're the one getting on the bike, so you overlook something that you could have caught. It's kind of on you. You said, I think I missed something. Y'all make sure y'all hit that poll too. I want to see y'all what y'all talking about on that poll. You said, yeah, I do it pretty often, cleaning the chain. It's the cafe racing mod for the right guy. Yeah. Oh, you have the Royal Enfield 650. That's dope. Royal Enfield is very, very popular in other countries, especially like India. It's probably like a top seller. You heard of it? Royal Enfield's been around forever. When the chain snaps, it can cause some nasty carnage. Oh yeah, dude. Chains snapping is a regular occurrence. If it does happen to you, hopefully it happens. Well, that's why I never remove my chain guard. If I'm staying stock wheelbase, I never remove the chain guard, just in case. But if you're on the highway, you might get hopefully, if you're on the road, you don't want it to snap on you while you're driving, but hopefully if you're on the road like a highway and it snaps, it just comes off and it just flies down the road and doesn't hit you. But shit. Most of the snaps come from dynos, come from dyno tuning. Most of those snaps come from dyno tuning. People throw their bikes on dyno, and the shops don't. If I was a shop, I would charge, in addition to I would charge to clean people's chains, to relubricate them, and to make sure that their master link is properly capped and secure before running that dyno. Because if I was a tuner and I'm running your bike and that chain snaps and it injures me, I'll sue you. I'll sue you. I'll sue the hell out of you. You said I'm doing CBT, the MSF course on Tuesday. Oh, definitely do that course, man. Don't do what I did. All right, don't do what I did. Let's see, I got my bike, my very first motorcycle, I bought it online on eBay, brand new from a dealership that was like in New York or something like that. It was a brand new 2004 Ninja 250 at the time. And I had it for about a month before, maybe it was about a month, and then I got the nerve up to actually ride it before, like 2 weeks before I went to my MSF course. And I dropped that bike, I wrecked that bike. I'm so glad I didn't kill myself. But I should have just waited till I took the MSF course. And then, once I took that, then I instantly felt like I knew what I was doing for the most part. And I was like, damn, I should have never jumped on my bike before I took the course. Plus, when you take the MSF course, you get to wreck their bikes. So, you know what I mean? You drop their bikes, it's not your own. It's not like you gotta pay for it. So to me, I think I paid like $250 or $350 at the time. It was well worth it. It was like a 2 or 3 day course to get your license, and then it was the best and worst 3 days of my life. By the third day, you should feel like a pro going into anywhere near third gear. You said I made sure next bike I got was a belt drive. Yeah, like most Harleys, and my Harley was belt drive. I actually like belt drive, but it also depends on where you, kind of like where you live as well too. Here in Texas, you get a lot of heat, and you can't really lubricate your belt. You know what I mean? You more or less got to make sure your pulleys are good, that they're not getting rusted and stuff like that. So not keeping your bike outside in the elements and stuff like that. There's a lot to it, but I never had a belt bust on me either. But I would also replace that belt every so often, because I knew that the type of environment that I live in, a lot of heat causes a lot of dry rot, especially on tires. So you just gotta be careful with that. You said my blinker fluid is always topped off. That's the main thing that I always look for, is my blinker fluid. And don't neglect the one in the back either. You know, if you're still running a back rotor, don't ever forget about that one. Always look at that one too. Good luck with the JC. Yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, man, that MSF course is going to save your life in a lot of basic ass situations. And the basic situations that I'm talking about is like situations like when you go to motorcycle meets with other people that are varying classes of experience. That's where your MSF course really kind of comes into play, because when you're taking your MSF course, you're riding around other people, kind of like a meet. You'll feel comfortable knowing how to try to navigate around other people. And you'll also be able to spot other people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And you'll want to stay away from those people. Usually when I go to meets, honestly, I don't give a shit if I'm on 1000cc or not. I usually tend to ride at the back. I usually tend to kind of hang back. And people are always like, man, why you always in the back? Why are you in the back? I'm like, because I like to cruise, man. Like, I'll go fast every once in a while, but I'm not out there to go 130 plus, flying from one end of the city to the other city. You know, I mean, from one end of the city to the other side. I don't do that. It's not my idea of fun when I ride. It's not why I ride. Do I get the itch to go fast sometimes? And do I go fast? Of course. But that's not the source of my content. What do you think about spending, speeding? Most because riders enjoy speed, but some of them, like me, enjoy slow speed. That's me. Before I got my leader bike, man, I had my Harley still, I had my Canon Riker, and I just like to cruise. I think most of the pressure of being a motovlogger on social media right now, I think a lot of the pressure and why a lot of people are giving up is probably because people aren't initially right off the back interested in your content if they don't see recklessness. Because like I said, being reckless and high speeds, it's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, it's entertaining. I'd rather watch other people do it and me not do it. So I think that's kind of the hard part, because people, even like myself when I first started, I'm just like, damn, like I know I can get a ton of views if I go out there and I go YOLO and I just go balls to the wall. I'm doing high speed runs. Like that's the content that people really, really like to see and what they really enjoy seeing. But yeah, it comes at a cost, man. How much do you have to lose? You know, if you don't have much to lose, then those are the guys that you're seeing doing all the reckless shit. You know, until you get jammed up with the police and, you know, to take your license, and you got to decide if you're going to ride dirty to keep your channel going, or, you know, what are you going to do? You're probably going to end up like D Gon Ride. Bro got in so much trouble, man. Like, his channel suffered, man. He had to shut the channel down. Couldn't make any more content. That was the truth of the matter. He could not make any more content. He got his shit shut down. Not his channel. He got shut down from riding. So he had to try to rebrand himself, and nobody followed him. So he essentially committed social suicide. His channels are done. And that dude had a mad following. I enjoyed his content, but I was just like, this is not sustainable. You know, it's not sustainable. He said, I didn't take the MSF course, but grew up riding. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have experience on two wheels, and most people don't, but I would still say, go get your MSF, man. I would just say, go get it. It ain't gonna hurt you. You know, it's not gonna hurt you at all. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you in situations that you probably didn't think you needed. I'm a big advocate for people going to get their license, man. It's just, there's too much going on that probably isn't even your fault if something happens. It's usually somebody else, some other idiot in a car or something that does you in, you know what I mean? And sometimes taking that course and knowing how to maneuver, knowing how to do a lot of low speed maneuvering, which to me is mainly what the MSF course is about, low speed maneuvering, learning how to handle your bike, you'll be able to get out of sticky situations. I'm here in San Antonio. There are some back roads, but honestly, I like back roads during the daytime. I don't ride back roads at night at all. If I do ride at night, it's gonna be on the highway because it's got lights. But I don't do back roads at night. Hell no. It's crazy out here, dude. On a one way, there's nowhere to go. There's you go into the car or you go off the road. You know, you pick your choice. How you're gonna survive, I don't know. But your chances of survival hitting a car head on a back road, not good. Chances of you surviving going off the road, and it's still not good, but it's gonna be better than getting hit head on. Plus, back roads at night is just a no-go. People crash all the time during the daytime going to twisties and stuff. Like, doing that at night, you're just insane. But if you're good at it, hey, do it. Carlos said you ride with, you said you ride with older riders. They do ride fast, but you learn from them. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I have no problem with staying in the back. I don't conform to peer pressure. I ride with a group of guys, man. We try to get out and ride all the time, and some of those guys they ride really, really fast. You know, to them, a chill ride is 120 plus the entire way. You know, as soon as you leave the parking lot. As soon as we leave the parking lot, you know, it's just, and that's okay. It's like, all I ask for is, hey, where are we going? What's the location we're going to? I plug that into my navigation, and I'm like, all right, if I keep up, I keep up. If not, I'll meet you at the spot. Like, that's how it is. I don't feel any kind of way about it. You know, I just hope that once I get there, I don't see you on the way, on the road somewhere. You know, those who ride at an older age truly enjoy life. They build stories and know the best roads to take. Oh, definitely. This is my first year riding all year round, rain, freezing. I am fair weather only. All right. For me, I like fair weather. I live in a state, you know, obviously where we get a lot of fair weather. Right now, not so much. It's kind of iffy. But I'm pretty much a fair weather rider only. If I get caught in the rain, that's different. But if it's raining outside, I'm not out there like, oh, I'm gonna go ride today. Nope, I'm not doing it. I try to decrease all the chances I can of me not making it back home. That's just me. I got kids. I enjoy life. Hey, I'm not out there trying to kill myself. He said nowadays beginners buys all the waste stuff and ignore essentials. I've seen lots of people buying loud exhaust and other shit instead of gear. That is something that I think gear is, in a perfect world. So a lot of my riding was done in the military, and the military forced you to wear gear. They forced you to wear gear. If you had your motorcycle license, they forced you to wear it. You had to wear it. And it had to be specific gear. Ugly ass gear, but it had to be certified gear. I hated it. But I understand the importance of gear. I think in a perfect world, it should be mandatory. Based on your state, everybody should have to have a helmet. Everybody should have to have gloves. And you should have to have like at least the helmet and gloves, right? But I do advocate for people to wear gear, right? It's whether you're layering up, whether you're riding in leather, just wear something. Again, one of my boys in the group, in our small Instagram chat group, he literally just went down like a couple days ago, about 3 days ago. And I ain't gonna put his business out there, or I ain't gonna put his name and stuff out there. Even though he's kind of put it out now that he's kind of recovering a bit. But I mean, he got smashed, man. He got smashed. Somebody, and it wasn't even his fault, you know, thank God, man. You know, a girl came out and hit him. And he had some gear on, you know, but the results of his crash was pretty bad. Road rash everywhere. I think he just had, I don't think he was wearing like long sleeves or anything like that. Maybe, but I know he definitely had a helmet and gloves on. Because those were the things that were kind of untouched. But road rash everywhere, broke his right foot. He's got to have plates and screws in it. You know, I think he blew out the ligaments in his left knee. That holds his kneecap together. That's toast. You know, he's got both legs casted up. It's like, you know, he finally went home yesterday. All praises to the Most High God. He went home. But it just goes to show you that how bad could it have been if he didn't have no gear. there's been times where I've gotten up, not lately, but before when I used to ride there, where I'd be like, man, it's so damn hot. I ain't putting on no long sleeve, bro. I'm putting on a t-shirt or I'm just gonna ride in a tank top. It's hot. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I'm just going around the corner. You know what I mean? Is you don't think anything of it, but going around the corner that could be it. You know, so I wear something. I wear a double layer hoodie. I wear something when I go, you know. But I am gonna get some leather. I'm gonna get some new leather pretty soon. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna end up getting trying out a newer hoodie and possibly some jeans from MBT pretty soon. It's expensive, but like I said, man, to me, it's kind of worth. It's worth it if you think it's worth it. I'll just put it that way. Not everybody wants to wear gear. I get it. It's just it's a personal call. But I think you should wear it. Especially if you make good content, you should definitely wear gear. Because we want to see you keep making content, right? So that's kind of how I feel about it. You said, oh, and then people buying unnecessary stuff. Yeah, that's true. And let's be real, it is it's very, very tempting, right? You get the bike, right? The first thing you want to do is mod it. I want to mod. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes the priorities, you're talking about the priorities. Yeah, people take priority over mods, sometimes over gear, and it is kind of crazy. An exhaust is not going to save you. The bike goes down, that exhaust is toast. You know what I mean? All the parts that you put on your bike, they're not going to survive. Let's just put it that way. Everything that you put on your bike, all the mods that you put on your bike, when the bike goes down, they're not going to survive. So you got to keep that in mind too. So if you are buying like a bunch of expensive parts, I would suggest that you go back to your insurance and then you add that little luxury tax in there to cover all the expenses of what you've paid to put on your bike. So if you do go down, at least you'll be able to replace it, or it'll be added to that amount that they're gonna pay to replace. You know, you go out there and put all this carbon fiber on your bike. You know, if you ride cruisers, you know, you're going out there, you're putting nice exhaust, you know what I'm saying? You're putting all this billet stuff on there, you're putting, you know what I mean? You're tricking your bike out and you go down and you have no way to replace that stuff. You're hoping the insurance is going to pay for it. They're not paying for any of that shit unless you added it. And even when you do add it, they still like to act funny. So keep receipts. You should map out some nice roads. I'd love to see the type of content. Start mapping out nice roads. I think there will be one. Define graffiti. Oh yeah, I definitely, you know what? I am keeping tabs of where I do go. So I am doing that. I just haven't, I never thought about sharing that stuff, but I think I will. Now that you put that out there, Carlos. You said counter steering at low speeds was a game changer for me. You got a coyote running out in front of you or a deer. Jesus love you, brother. God bless. Always keep an eye out for anyone taking a left turn. Definitely. And yeah, definitely. Exhaust does help. When I say it doesn't save your life, what I'm saying is that there are often times where it may be counterproductive. And what I mean by that, I think it's counterproductive to have a loud exhaust in a way. Sometimes if you're hauling ass, balls to the wall, and you're wide open, and you're just blowing past cars, sometimes that loud noise startles people into making terrible instinct decisions. They may hear you, but they don't know where it's coming from. I know you've been in a car before and you've heard ambulance or fire truck going off and you're like, where's that shit coming from? Where's it coming from? That's kind of how it is when you have a loud ass exhaust. It does make people aware, but sometimes they don't know where it's coming from and they make a mistake. Pull out in front of you, you're toast. You know, so does help, but I wouldn't put all my faith in the exhaust keeping me safe from other people around me. It's just one of the things that's going to keep you safe. Boots are going to protect your feet. They're uncomfortable for the most part. The more money you spend on boots, the more comfortable they're probably going to be. I am one to have never really liked riding in boots. I never really liked them. The only boots I would technically wear when I would ride would be my military combat boots because of the protection. But I had to go out and buy some boots, man. You know, and I'm glad I bought them. And these are gonna protect. Hopefully protect, depending on how hard you get hit or how hard you hit the ground during an accident. They're gonna help protect your feet more than a pair of Nikes, right? Nikes aren't meant to hold up to contact speeds, you know, over 20 miles an hour. It's just, you know what I mean? They're not meant to hold up like that. And I got these off of Speed Addicts. Brand is Noru. These are on sale for like $100, or like I think they're on sale for like $100 at the time, and I grabbed it. And I actually had grabbed a leather jacket from them it was on sale for $100, but they sent the wrong size, and when I sent it back, they didn't have my size still in stock. So I missed out on that deal. But you know, do I like riding in leather all the time? Hell no. I would prefer getting a textile jacket, which I've always worn, over a leather jacket. It's so hot here. To me, taking off your leathers when you get to a stop or even at a stoplight, it just feels like it feels like a sauna. But it's a really, really thick layer of protection that's gonna help you. It's gonna help save your skin, literally, when you're sliding on the ground. You know, whether you're sliding on the ground at no speed, somebody just hits you. You can be you're in danger everywhere. You can pull up to a gas station. I've had people almost back into me or not really see me and try to pull past me, leaving their pump because they're fixated on my bike or me. They don't even see my bike, and they're not paying attention at all. They're on their phone, getting hit at no speed. You'd be surprised how much damage it could do. So I'm slowly falling in love with, I would say, properly rated CE gear, right? It's important for me. Like I said, I got kids. I want to be able to come home without brain damage and being all kinds of jacked up. You say use to rev your machine all the time. $100 for leather, man. It was on sale though. It was on sale. It was like when you go there, sometimes you'll see like what they have left in stock. That's when you get like the best deals, and you just gotta hope that they have your size. And I just got lucky. Ruroc suck. Does Ruroc suck as a helmet manufacturer? I like the designs, but safety first. I'm not too familiar with Ruroc. What I am familiar with is that they are a good company. I think most of the negative stuff that you'll hear most of the negative stuff that you may hear about Ruroc is coming from an influencer / like sponsor type of I feel like it's coming from that angle, meaning that I think Ruroc has put out some like kind of shady sponsorship deals. They kind of prey on smaller, upcoming, they spot talent, right? You want natural talent. You want people that are authentic. You know what I mean? That's what these companies are looking for, I think that once they find you and they see you growing and stuff like that, they reach out to you and they kind of give you a good deal because it's good to you because you probably never had a sponsor that big before, and so you're just like, yeah, I'll do it. And I think people end up getting bad experiences with those types of sponsorships. You got to be careful with those kind of sponsorships because they will kind of steer you into not talking or focusing on the negative aspects of their product, and more so on selling their product. I think that's where a lot of it comes in because, yeah, you're going to have some issues. Every manufacturer is going to have issues, right? But the thing is that who's talking about it? You know, I think one of the biggest guys that I know of that was very transparent after he got out of his contractual duties with Rock was Chase on Two. I think it was Chase on Two Wheels. He talked about it, and it was a real big eye opener. I already knew kind of like how sponsorships work because before I was motovlogging, I was doing tech reviews and stuff like that. So I had a lot of knowledge of how companies treat you when you're when they're sponsoring you, what you can and can't say, NDAs, stuff like that. And so it was very shady. I kind of fell out of love with it. That's why I stopped doing a lot of tech reviews. I stopped doing all that stuff because it just felt fake. I was like, if all I'm doing is just lying, like not necessarily lying, but if all I'm doing is just trying to sell your shit, it's like, whether it's good or bad, it's like, especially when it's bad, it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? What's the point? So I think Rock has really good gear, especially cool helmets. They have really cool helmets. I've considered buying a Rock. Just when it comes to helmets, I don't really have I'm not like a gear, what do you call it? Like a gear junkie? Like or gear fanboy. I'm not loyal to any one brand at all. Care less. If it works, it works. I just want something that's gonna save my head. You know what I mean? And what's funny is that I was actually considering not a Rock, but I was considering like just buying like a tester helmet from a well-known company and then trying to put it through its paces and make some content on it just to see how it holds up and to kind of give like a real-world experience of how these helmets will hold up. What I'm really trying to do is reach out to some of these companies and get a sponsorship, like, hey, send me a helmet just so I can test it that way. Just so I can test it. Because like I used to hear a lot of shit about HJC almost pretty much the entire time that I've been riding. And honestly, every helmet, which is kind of funny because I'm not even a fanboy at HJC, but almost every helmet that I've had for my motorcycles has been an HJC. I just think they make really good products. Do I think they're boring looking? Hell yes. HJC has got probably like the most boring helmets ever. I like KYT, they make really cool helmets. Alpine Stars, but super expensive. I don't feel like I need a $1,000, $1,500, $1,600 helmet on my head in carbon fiber. Come on. Like, when I hit the ground, it's going to hopefully smash just the same as my HJC. That only costs like $250 or something. You know what I mean? Like, so I think sometimes we tend to become like gear snobs, and it's just not that big of a deal. Find something that you like, look up reviews on it. Just look up reviews on it. Try to find as many reviews as possible, good and bad, and kind of make a decision. To me, the most important thing is like comfortability, fitment, and how quiet it is. if it's a loud helmet, like I don't like a lot of air coming through my helmet, so I look for stuff like that. That's like my pet peeves. It's got to be a pretty quiet helmet. Nothing worse than going 80 plus miles an hour for an hour and you get off because you're not wearing, if you don't wear earplugs, and you know your head is ringing, you know you're fatigued, you got a headache, all that stuff. It's not worth it. You want to be comfortable, but you want to be safe. So yeah, counter steering is the best too. Usually opposite of that. Effective in making quick adjustment, avoid danger. Yeah, other brands of helmets have nice graphics. KYT has some pretty decent ones. I would say go check out Speed Addicts. I don't know if Speed shit. They should. They're always sending me emails, so I'm always checking out their site. I'm always checking out their site to see what they got, but helmet wise, I've always I do want an Alpine Stars. I ain't gonna lie, I love the way Alpine Stars look. But there's some other brands that I do want to try. Shoei has always been a main staple one, but they're super expensive. Icon, that's the one. Icon makes some really cool helmets. The only thing that I am not sold on with Icon is that the helmets are really cool, but because you have like a camera usually at the front of your helmet, you know what I mean? Like if you motovlog, they're not really meant for you to have an attachment there. If you look at Icon helmets, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're more like, I feel like they're like aviation helmets. Like there's not a traditional closed piece. So usually they lift up from the bottom, the chin up. So if you have a motovlog camera, you're gonna have to either like set it off to the side and have like an extra attachment to bring it centered again. To me, that's just too much. So that's the only thing that's made me kind of avoid Icon, but they make some really cool design helmets, I think. Again, maybe Scorpion. Is it Scorpion? Yeah, Scorpion. They make some really cool looking helmets. I've never had one before, but I think if I do buy another, it's probably gonna be a KYT. A decent price KYT. You said, imagine. What do you think about Harley bikers? I heard they are pretty loud and aggressive in your country. I used to ride a Harley. I had a Harley for quite a long time. I owned a Harley from like 2012 all the way up until I got my Suzuki. I had a Harley. I had my Can-Am Ryker in the same garage, and then I got rid of them and I got the Suzuki. I like Harley. I liked Harley. Sorry. Would I go back and buy another Harley? Probably not. My ownership experience wasn't the best. Some of it was user error because I neglected the bike at certain times when I couldn't ride, and then a lot of it to me is just their parts. They're just, to me, when you start having to replace parts and you start digging into the bike, I basically took my bike apart. You can go look on the channel right now. If you go back and look like towards the beginning of the channel, how I started it, you'll see me literally breaking down the entire bike, basically. I got that thing running again. I had basically rebuilt a lot of it. And when you start breaking the bike down, I had a 2012 Sportster 48. Love that bike. But when you start breaking the parts down, all that shit is made in Japan. All of it's made in a different country. I'm like, I paid how much for an American bike and nothing on this shit is American? Like, this is crazy. So I'll probably never own another one. I am interested in Indian. I like the Indian. They make some really cool bikes. I definitely like the bobbers. I like bobbers for sure. Like little club hoppers, little bobbers and stuff. I like those the most. they're comfortable, and I like to, you know, I like to cruise. If you like to cruise. Here in ATL, Harleys aren't that bad. They may be more in California. There's a lot of people that ride Harley here in Texas. Ton of people. It's a big community here. It would be amazing if manufacturers had plain helmets and allow people to buy a type of PPF. You can do that yourself. It's just, it gets expensive. Yeah, they don't. It's a source of income for them, so they're very selective on what they do. But you can customize your helmets. There are companies now that are coming out with more decal centric, what do you call it, like designs for specific types of helmets. I think it's really cool. Or try to find somebody that does custom helmets for you, or do it yourself. I'd say go out and buy a really cheap helmet and practice. You know. I would definitely try it. I would definitely try it. I mean, I've considered it, but I mean, I'm not really big into like helmets and stuff like that. Some people love helmets and they just collect helmets. They're into helmets. They're into gear. You have a lot of people that are just into gear just as much as they are with bikes. They just like to buy gear. It's addicting. I'm not necessarily like that though. So I can kind of care less how the helmet looks, in my opinion. I think if I ever buy a themed helmet, like with like cool graphics and stuff, I think I would definitely need a second helmet that's not so busy, because I don't like a lot of busy all the time. So I definitely, when I get a new helmet, I'm not getting rid of my old one. It's comfortable and it's plain. It's black. It's all it is. It's just plain. You said it would be amazing if. Okay, I read that one. Film with designs allowing you to change it up. Modular helmets are pretty cool. I think Bell makes some really cool modular helmets as well, but they do get helmets get expensive, bro. Look, I kind of feel sick if I paid $700 for a helmet. Like, I just feel like it's not a waste, but it's a waste. Like, I just don't understand that. Does more money technically translate to more safety? No. And that's with all gear, in my opinion. Not necessarily to a certain point. I know some people look at like MBT or Ride Rich or, you know, and stuff like Raven, stuff like that. And they're like, damn, $200-$300 for some jeans? Like, the fuck? Like, that's crazy. It is expensive, but it has a purpose, right? It has a purpose. So it all depends on how much that purpose matters to you. You say, yeah, I've had a Harley too, for 40 serving of that, expensive. And it's plastic, yeah, there's a lot. Well, my Harley was heavy. That 48 was heavy. It was a lot of metal on that. I had no plastic on that thing. And it was a solid bike, man. They make solid bikes, but it's just, I don't know. You said, I don't think I would ever buy another one though. You said, oh, Yoyo, it was a pleasure to do. Hey, appreciate you coming through, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Like I said, daily content here and on Instagram. I was getting ready to get off, like, damn, 30 minutes ago until you guys started coming out. I was just gonna make a video talking about the toxicity of the community, man. It's been bad and it's getting worse. I think we're getting ready to. It's gonna move into another shift. So, and honestly, what I've been seeing on the channel, with the daily uploads and the type of content that I'm putting out, I definitely understand why people are starting to complain a little bit. The more personal, centered style content of not just showing off your bike and you wheeling or going 180 miles an hour. People want a little more. You know, it's a little shallow. People want a little more. They want to know the person they're subscribed to or supporting. They want to kind of know that person, like what motivates you to ride, like versus come watch my nighttime ride video, raw audio, I'm not talking to you, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a mystique around the rider kind of thing, no face, no case kind of thing. You know, I think that's kind of fading out. I think it's kind of fading out, and people are looking for more value. So, channel has definitely been picking up. The views have been picking up, and I think it's pretty amazing. I think you just got to be really, 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 really consistent with whatever you're doing. You got to schedule everything. You got to come up with a plan. Because even some of these bigger YouTubers, I'm starting to notice that they're apologizing a lot for missing posting content. Like, they're apologizing a lot. Like, oh, sorry, I missed the upload. And I think that's because they're doing things on the fly. Like, oh, I need to go out and ride, you know, at least 3 or 4 days this week, and to be able to have content to drop for the next week. And it's like, they're not thinking far enough ahead. When I started this channel, my idea was to upload like maybe once a week or something like that. Then it was like twice a week, and then eventually my ultimate goal was to daily upload, and I had to figure out a way that I can do that. And so some of the sponsorship things that you may see like on the channel, like Opus Pro or Opus Clip, I use Opus Clip religiously now because it's too damn easy. You know, if I go out and ride for an hour, I take that content, you know, after I'm done editing that content, I upload it straight to Opus Pro or Opus Clip, and they go down it and they start breaking down everything into clips. And I start going through and I start selecting the clips that I like, and I can go in there and I schedule those clips. This one on that day, this one on that day, this one on that day. And it helps get that rhythm down. So you can really actually build your channel consistently, with consistency. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Just be consistent. So we have daily uploads. And sometimes you might see me upload multiple videos a day, you know, on here or Instagram. You know, it doesn't matter how much you upload, you know what I mean? It's not like I used to, at first I was trying to hoard my content because I'm like, oh, I don't want to put that out yet. I really want people to see that. But when you're small, nobody's going to see it anyway. So don't hoard your content, because nobody's going to be paying attention to you when you're small right away. So everything that you think is fire, nobody's going to see it. You know what I mean? Or you're not going to get that experience that you want, that expectation that you want. You're not going to get it right away. So once I got that out of my mind, like, stop hoarding content, I don't even worry about it. You know, don't worry about it at all. Like, there are videos, especially on YouTube, especially on YouTube, which is surprising me. There are shorts that I put out that some of them get so much attention. I'm just like, how the hell did that video get that much attention? I don't get it. It was a stupid video. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, but apparently other people thought it was hot, you know? So whatever you think doesn't really matter. Just put out content that you enjoy putting out. Don't worry about, I've never said to myself, I need to go out this week and I need to do a top speed run. I don't need to do that. You know? If I want to, I will, but I don't think in terms of like, I got to do some dangerous shit so I can get some views. I don't do that. It's stupid. Just put out content. So have you ever said a swear word before? Oh, definitely. That's one of the things that I'm actually trying to stop doing when I ride is I try to watch my profanity. Once the channel does get to a point where it's monetized, YouTube is going to ding you for that, for foul language, right? So I'm trying to be aware of that now, since we're really small, like, just to be more aware of my speech, because I don't want it to become like a bad habit. And plus, when you're editing video, I don't like to find every time I say a swear word, fuck, shit, stuff like that, and having to bleep it out, it creates extra work for me when I'm doing editing, and I don't like doing it. So I am trying to be more mindful of what I say. You say you got to bounce too. Okay, man, appreciate it. Make sure you come back. Carlos who said mental health is an issue with social media. I talk about mental health on my channel as well. As somebody that deals with that myself. We don't take accountability for the content being shared. It's like wearing a mask, making it difficult to understand the liability. Very true. Social media was developed by individuals who were not social and needed a glass. Very, very true. People have to realize that as well. A lot of the influencers in different communities that you may see, though they may appear to be super popular online, a lot of these people don't have any personal social skills at all, which is why some of these people are weird as hell when you actually meet them. You're just like, damn, dude's weird. Like, you instantly see the difference between the YouTube version versus the real person. You know, very few people you're gonna meet, especially in the biker community, that you may see make content. You probably are gonna be surprised when you actually meet them how strange they may seem, or something like that, or antisocial they may seem. So don't ever let the persona that you're seeing, even me, if you see me on the street, I'm gonna be the same exact way. I'm gonna be the same exact way, but not everybody's like that. That's just a big thing that I've tried to do on this channel, is be authentic, just be yourself, man. If the content is boring, if me going for a cruise around the city is boring because I'm riding like 70 to 90, sometimes 100 miles an hour, but I'm mainly cruising. And I've had people say that before. They're like, dude, your videos are boring. Like, they look good, but sometimes your videos are boring. Like, you're just cruising. Well, that's the type of ride that I like to do. I like to cruise. Listen, I'm not going to go 120 miles an hour because that's what you want to see. I'm not going to be lane filtering and lane splitting because you want to see some danger. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. You know who also started off what I would call, or what most people would call, lame? Yammie Noob. Yammie Noob started off, and by many standards, he's one of the people that people still kind of hate on today, too. I think he started his channel with an R3. And he gets a lot of flack because of his opinions, but guess what? That dude rides. And he knows his shit. Excuse my language. He rides and he knows his shit. And a lot of people don't like him because of his strong opinions and stuff, but I'm like, the dude rides. He doesn't have to be an S1K rocket. He doesn't have to be some of these guys that just are really, really fast. I think that the consensus now is that if you are a person who owns a leader bike and you're not like pushing your bike to its maximum capabilities on the street, you're not really respected as like a real one. You know what I'm saying? And that's why these bike meets are extremely competitive. They're extremely popular as well, because everybody goes to the bike meet. Not everybody, but most people go to the bike meet to try and make a name for themselves, right? They want to be known as that next fast guy. You got people going out there. I mean, you got people that are living in an apartment, a shitty apartment, but they went to the Honda dealership and they're paying like $600 a month to buy a Fireblade. They're gonna go buy a Fireblade and pay like $600 a month. Why? Because they think that people are gonna watch them because they have a Fireblade, and all they need to do is drive fast, and they're gonna blow up. That's the consensus. That's why you got a lot of people going out and they're buying like the super specialty bikes now. You know, that's what they think. And it's not just limited to sport bikes, cruisers, top of the line cruisers, the CVOs, the breakouts, like the top of the line bikes. People think that if I get into motovlogging, I got to get something really new or something that's really coveted, something that's special to stand out. You know, there's another guy that I watch on here. I still watch his content. I think he makes decent content. I think sometimes it comes off a little fake because I think he's just kind of following what he thinks people want to see versus just making content that he really wants to make. Hollywood. I like his content. But I started watching him because he had my dream bike, my S1000 double R. And I feel like he sold that bike because he really started getting around. He started injecting himself around other, like other well-known influencers, like trying to get into the circle, going to those meets, traveling to be around those specific people, like kind of like bandwagons, which is nothing wrong with. But I think once he did that, I think he started to feel like his S1000 was not special enough because, now everybody has an S1000. It used to be kind of rare, kind of like Ducatis. I think almost now, like almost everybody's doing, buying a Ducati V4. It's like they're not as special anymore unless you buy a V4S or a V4R, $100,000 bike, So I think that's what's happening. I felt bad, and I actually commented to him and said, when he sold his bike, he's like, "Oh, I'm selling my bike. I'm getting a Ducati," and I'm just like, "Did you buy a Ducati because like you think that's what people? Ducati is hot right now, and it's getting all the views. It's a view bike." Like, that's why you're getting a Ducati? And he was like, "Nah, I'm not getting a Ducati." I was like, "Well, I just hope you're not doing that because you think that's what people want to see." Like, he's like, "Nah, he just really wanted a Ducati." But to me, it just kind of seems like you just want to kind of fit into that crowd. Like, you want to be respected. Like, I got a Ducati. Don't talk shit. You know what I mean? So, and it's kind of always been like that with brands. Everybody with a Euro bike kind of shits on people with Japanese bikes, like, I got something premium, and it's like, none of this shit is premium. Like, you're not exclusive because you can go out and buy a $30,000-$40,000 bike. I mean, most people's cars cost more than that. You know what I mean? It's just wild. My dream bike, S1000 or Kawasaki H2. Could I go out and get an H2? I probably could, but that shit's gonna cost me everything. It's just not worth it. If I was like 19, 20, 21, 22, I'd probably do anything to go grab a damn H2. I don't care if it costs me $700 a month. You know what I mean? Just to be like, I got it. I'm not like that no more, so. Centennial has a lot of history, show people missing, like riding to Mission San Jose areas, either food trucks. Oh yeah, the food trucks, honestly, I think that's the big thing on my radar right now is just explore the city. And like I said, I'm trying to ride around other people. Just because I have a sport bike, I still ride with people. It doesn't matter what you ride, but I'm really interested in like going around the city, different parts of the city, and just finding cool spots, especially the food trucks. I've been really big into food trucks. Like if you're on the Instagram, you'll see that I'm always posting stuff about food trucks. I'm like, damn, I should probably become a San Antonio foodie, man, and start posting food stuff because I'm like on this mission to go find all the badass food trucks around here. There's a lot. The food truck scene is getting really big here in San Antonio. He said Yammie Noob chilled after his nasty crash when he started his channel. Nasty. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna look him up. I don't think I've heard of Yammie Noob. Oh, you're talking about Yammie Noob. Are you talking about Yammie Noob? what type of app would make riding interesting as a rider or content creator? Something that makes things simpler, maybe an app that records the trip. You can post images and have it snap. Oh yeah, you're trying to make that food truck app. I would say what you can do to make some of your rides a little more interesting is just get a different view, which is why I got the why I grabbed the X4. It just gives you a different perspective and it kind of refreshes your content. And there's infinite ways of being able to use it. I had an X2. This is the X4. I had an X2 before when that I used to ride on my Harley, and I used to ride it on my Can-Am. And I never was a big fan of 360, even when I had it, because I didn't like the workflow, the editing and stuff like that. And I still kind of don't, but it's much better now. I just like that it gives you a different look, and you'll start to see in some of the videos coming up that I already have scheduled and stuff like that, where I've integrated a lot of this footage into it. It just gives you a completely different vibe. You know, sometimes I'll go out and I do have my and I will have my Action 4, like I do all the time, and sometimes I just won't even use the footage from that. Sometimes I'll just put this on the back of the bike or put this on the front of the bike and I'll just use this. But I splice the content from this and I put it together to make it look like a seamless edit. It's a little more work, but it's not that much more work. I'm used to video editing all the time, so I like it. And you get some really unique shots. You get some really, really unique shots. To me, it just keeps your content fresh, you know, gives it a new look. Like I said, there's infinite possibilities with this thing. I'll definitely grab something like that if you don't mind editing. And plus you can make edits directly from your phone with it. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. But I would say what I have been trying to do lately is that when I do want to go find something specific, I definitely mark the spot on my app, and I save the spot, and so I can go back. You know what I mean? So I can go back. I know exactly where to find it and stuff like that. So definitely, I think everybody should do that. And I think, like I said, you're gonna start seeing a lot more stuff change in this community. You're gonna start seeing, like I said, when I saw Will Kid Hill's video like yesterday, and he was talking about the where's it at? He was talking about the OSMO Action 5. I got the 4, but he was talking about the 5 and how, you know, it's a good camera and stuff. Like I said, he started going into almost like a depressive state where he was like not happy. He was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna change my content style. I'm gonna be doing a lot more chill rides. I'm done with the fast boy shit. They keep demonetizing my videos. You know, he just had his crash. Like, so he's like, you know, look, you guys are gonna start seeing more of just me being me, like showing his personality, which we really haven't seen much because that's the type of content that he makes right now. So I think we're gonna see a big shift. And because these guys aren't being monetized anymore, that's why I said that you're gonna start seeing, or that you have been seeing, and you're gonna start seeing a lot more of it until people get tired of it. They're always pushing their gear. They're all pushing their gear because they don't have no monetization. You know, they're making videos that aren't getting paid. That aren't paying them. So they got to sell merch. That's the next thing. Merch. You got to sell merch. You know, I'm in a different category. I run a business where I sell clothing. I sell my own stuff. So I treat these businesses, my business, as my channel sponsor, right? That's what I do. So I'm approaching it from a different angle because I'm approaching it from a business aspect where whether I'm trying to offer it through my videos, like bring brand awareness, whether you guys buy it or not. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't dent what my business is doing, because I have an audience outside of this. I'm simply introducing it to my motovlog. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm doing. And if it takes off, you know, if it helps, it helps. But it's officially a channel sponsor. And so I'm just trying to make it work like that until you get actual other companies that want to sponsor you, maybe for different things and whatnot. I'm open to it. You just gotta be savvy about it, and don't sponsor shit that you don't like or that you don't wear. Just don't do that kind of stuff. People are gonna be really quick to point you out. If they see you shilling, shit that you don't use, they're gonna call you out. So, you said meeting local bike groups and getting an idea of their background, different types of bikes. Rikers, man, I love my Riker, dude. Rikers are fun, man. Rikers are super fun. I had mine tricked out. You should be able to go see that on channel too. I had that. Mine was tricked out. I love it. Definitely wasn't like super fast. I think I would definitely be interested in getting another Riker if Can-Am stops playing around and they decide to put a turbo on that damn thing. I think the Riker Rally needs a turbo edition. There is a company that called Silver Turbo. They make a bolt-on turbo kit for it, stuff like that. And I think I forgot what the guy's name is, Bill Meismer. He does a lot of tuning for it. So I was gonna go that route, but it was like $3,000 for the kit. Pretty decent, but you know, it's still expensive. But then once you do that, like I said, Can-Am limits. They have like a, I don't know, they have like a really heavy encryption on their ECU, and it makes tuning that thing really, really difficult. A lot of people were having issues once they got that turbo kit and they were trying to like dyno tune it and get like custom maps. It's just a very, very hard system to crack. People were having a lot of problems with, that's what kind of made me like, I'm not gonna do that. But the Riker was an awesome machine, man. It's really nice. Cruiser, sport bikes, custom bikes, and like, I don't mind, like, if you're here in the area and you go to like Tuesday on Tues, I like doing that every once in a while. I stopped going for a while because a lot of the drama was getting out of hand. Just crazy stuff, man. And you know, last thing I want to do is be at a bike meet and somebody's getting like shot or stabbed or something like that over something stupid. So I kind of stayed away from the meets, but I do like to meet up and ride with the boys and stuff like that in a group, but haven't been to too many meets this year. But yeah, you definitely got to get out there. You definitely got to get out there, and don't become one of those bikers like when you're new. This happened to me when I was new. I fell into the trap of only wanting to ride my bike if I was riding with other people, and eventually I went to a spell where I just didn't want to ride at all unless I had somebody to ride with. And ultimately it just boiled down because I was not confident in my own riding abilities, and I felt like I needed somebody there, if that makes any sense. So there's a lot of people like that I've noticed a lot too. Some of these people, they only ride like every Tuesday because the meet is on Tuesday. It's only people that ride because they go to the meets. Like, they don't ride any other time. And they definitely don't ride by themselves, like, unless they're going to get gas. So, you know, as a new rider, man, I would say stay away from the meets and literally just focus on your own riding style. If that's cruising, it's cruising. It is what it is. But Carlos, are you in the 210 group on Facebook? If you're still here. if you're in the 210 group, they usually post up a lot of meets, regular meets, and it's different flavors and stuff, man. We're gonna be working on, I know my group, we're working on getting something started here pretty soon, something completely separate. I don't even know if we're gonna post on 210, but we're gonna try to get something started here at a local spot that is a local hot dog spot. Really good hot dogs. If you can guess it, then I'll let you know. But we're not really like putting it out. We're trying to set it up though to kind of like be our little meet spot. You know what I mean? Our little group spot, like pre-meet spot. If we're going to like some meets and stuff like that, kind of like a little clubhouse deal. Like, you know, when we meet up, this is usually it's gonna be the regular spot. So. You're in the Bronzeville area, yeah. So you're kind of like out on the little outskirts a little bit, being in New Braunfels, but it's not too bad. I would much rather ride in New Braunfels than ride here in San Antonio right now. It's terrible. The traffic is so bad, dude. The construction is bad. I'll say this because it's the construction that's making it really, really bad. Construction is horrible right now because they're putting up the double decker, you know, they're building the double decker lanes everywhere. They're putting up the pillars everywhere. They're shutting some of the highway lanes down. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't paying attention to that. Even when I was on my bike yesterday or like 2 days ago, I didn't even notice that I was coming back from a different area, and I didn't even really notice when I got close to close to home. I hadn't even realized that they extended the shutdown of one of the fast lane like extremely far, and I didn't even notice that until I ran up on it, and I was like, oh shit, I was just like, oh damn, when did they block it off this far? I didn't even notice that. So, and that's kind of why I don't ride at night right now. Why I haven't really been riding around at night is because it's stuff like that. Plus, I have a stupid tinted visor on my thing that I'm too lazy to change. So it makes it a little more difficult to see at night with it. So I just kind of been trying to stay away from riding at night because they're doing so much construction. If you don't see it during the day, chances of you seeing it at night, slim to none. You're probably gonna wreck, especially if you're out there going 120, 130, 150 miles an hour. You happen to see something like that too late, you're done. You go through Natural Bricks Caverns, construction is so bad. Yeah, it's really bad. 35 is terrible. Oh yeah, by the IKEA is horrible. Yeah, that whole stretch going like towards New Braunfels is bad. I try to avoid that. I don't even go down there anymore. So if I do like go to New Braunfels, like possibly like this weekend, like Saturday, what I really want to do is I want to go up to Wood Cycle, just to see what they got up there. But every time I go to Woods, I like to take the back roads to there. It's more scenic. To me, it's more safe. A little safe, even though it's back roads. But during daytime, it feels a little more safe than riding on 35. 35 is crazy. We've had a lot of bike accidents here in this year alone. We've had a lot of bike accidents in this area. It's been bad, man. So many people are going down for different reasons, but I'll definitely say that the car accidents involving motorcycles has gone up significantly this year. And I think a lot of it has to do with the construction. I'm gonna harp on that thing one more time. I think one of the main things that I've been seeing that kind of make me a little upset is that seeing like some of the bigger influencers post up track videos and nobody giving a shit about them, like nobody caring about the track videos, and I'm just like, this is like the best shit ever. Like, you get to see your famous, your YouTube famous, social media famous influencer get on the track. You should be excited. Like, you know, they're honing their skills. You know, they're honing their skills. You're trying to hone your skills so you can be a little more respected on the street. And people just don't care, man. Like, same fan base, a lot of them just don't even care. They don't even want to watch it. It's just like, why? You get to see them go out there and like not abuse the bike, but like put the bike through its paces and actually push the bike to its capacity, or, you know, to their limits that they have. You know, I'd rather see them do that on the track than that shit happen on the street. You know, you wreck on the track, like Saiyan 420, he rides like, I'm not that style of rider at all, but I enjoy watching him ride that crazy shit. Like when he's out on the mountains and stuff, I'm just like, dude, you gotta be like crazy to be riding like the Dragon Trail and stuff like that fast, like you're in MotoGP. Like, to me, that's just crazy. But, you know, he posted a video of the influencer track day. He went down hard. I think Jixabra went down hard too. I think it was Jixabra. I forgot who it was, but it was on the track, and it was just like, he like high-sided. It was bad, but it's just like, damn, everybody watched that. Like, a lot of people watched that because of the crash. You know what I mean? If it didn't crash, nobody would have gave a shit. So to me, it's just like one of those things where it's like, people just want to see the danger. You know, they don't like the track videos because they assume that the track is more controlled. There's not as much danger on a controlled track versus when you're on the street. They love to watch you on the street because there's always danger around. There's always cars, there's always obstacles, there's always something that could kill you. And they want to see you navigate it in style and speed. He said you had to learn to take turns at a fast speed to reduce braking and just lean. Yes, cars do get too close. I find myself concentrating more on like low speed stuff when I am around a lot of traffic, not on the highway, when I'm like riding through the residential streets and stuff like that, from light to light. And honestly, a lot of my videos are highway riding because I absolutely hate riding on residential streets. Even when I'm like going downtown, which I've been doing a lot more lately to get more comfortable, I just get freaked out. I get a lot of anxiety riding downtown and just being around a bunch of cars, like always trying to predict what other people are doing or what they're seeing. And in San Antonio, oh my God, I feel like almost every person that I ride by, especially on the highway, are doing this. As soon as you ride by them, they're doing this. Hand on the wheel, and they're just doing this. So what do? I'll get beside them now, ying, 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 and they put the phone down. Pay attention, dude. You're gonna hit me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even know that I'm next to you, or that I'm, you know what I mean? They don't even care. So, to me, it reduces my stress when I'm not. It reduces my stress when I'm riding on the highway versus riding inside the cities, you know, from light to light. I hate riding light to light. I always feel like somebody's going to rear end me. That's my biggest fear, is getting rear ended. And it happens all the time. So that's like my biggest fear, is not seeing it coming and getting hit from behind. Even when we do like group rides and stuff, like I try to only ride around the people that that I know how to ride. And when I go to meets and stuff, my biggest fear doing like little group rides with people I don't know is people doing flybys and then clipping you because they're not paying attention. Biggest fear, going down like that. Well, I appreciate everybody coming through. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. We're at like 126 minutes. And yeah, man. I was gonna keep it going because everybody kept coming in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna shut it down. Make sure you guys like, subscribe if you want. Make sure you engage, man. That's what it's all about, the engagement for me. I'm careless if there's 100 people in here or 2 people in here. The engagement tonight has been crazy. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I just wanted to talk about toxicity of the community, and I was just gonna get off, but because we're still building, you know, we're still small, so a lot of people don't even see the live. But as we grow, it'll get bigger. Some of you OGs, Carlos, some of you OGs are gonna be, some of y'all gonna be fighting for recognition on the chat board. Like, I've been here, you know what I mean? So that's another thing that I've been seeing influencers do more and more too. I think live is gonna get ready to take off, especially once they ban TikTok. I think live is gonna be the next best thing. Besides posting consistently, I think you're gonna start seeing a lot more people go live because it's impromptu. You get to see the real person when they go live. You know what I mean? There's no edits. There's no edits. There's no script. It's just you and them. So I really like live. And it gives people a chance to actually connect with you, and not just through comments from your video. You know what I'm saying? You can leave a comment on a video and I can just respond, or, you know what I mean? But when you're talking live to somebody, or if you're live or at an event and you're meeting people, I think that's the best way. I think that's honestly what makes people want to support, is that if they can connect with you, it makes it better. So whether we end this year with 1,000 subscribers, supporters, or 10,000, don't matter. The point is to grow organically with the real people that matter. So that's what it's all about. Oh no problem, man. Like I said, it's gonna be coming to you. Shit, I did a lot of work today. Oh my God. I had to pack up a lot of orders today, but I'm gonna be working on yours, and we're gonna get it to you. Thanks for responding pretty quickly as well, with your address and all that good stuff, so I can get it to you. It's funny because I thought that you had ordered from my House of Joseph store. I thought you had ordered from my House of Joseph, and then I went back because I felt kind of silly asking you, like, hey, you gotta give me a verified address so I can send it to you. And then you gave it to me, and I was like, wait. I had to go back to my other store, and I was like, oh, that's a different Carlos. It was a different, same name, different Carlos. This guy's like in South Carolina or something. So I was just like, oh, that's not even him. I'm so glad I didn't just assume that it was you, because he would have got a random hoodie. He'd have been like, what? What is this? Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. You'll be getting that pretty soon. Make sure you tag us. Make sure you tag us on the IG, on the Instagram, and whatnot, if you get the chance. Just let people know that you got it. And like I said, man, we're small. I don't mind doing stuff like that. I can do giveaways without other companies' products, because I own my own companies. So I use my own products as my own leverage. to help support the channel. So we'll be doing stuff like that forward to help us grow. You know, organic, baby, slow and steady. Oh, appreciate it, man. All right, well, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna shut it down early morning tomorrow. Appreciate y'all coming through. See you in the next one.